Just one station there as a tourist from Chicago bonds out of jail. Police say she's behind an attack targeting 2 hotel employees.
And as 7 Sheldon Fox reports in this exclusive, this only adds to the recent hotel horror on South Beach.
Hotel horror on South Beach. Who you think is responsible for 98% of the horror on South Beach? She's like, paradise used to be. Wow, South Beach. I mean, like, I'm not even trying to, like, exaggerate. Like, South Beach was literally paradise. They didn't even consider it part of Miami. It was South Beach. Wow. Now it's horror? Hotel horror? You think these people want police down to South Beach? You think the South Beach, Miami-Dade Police Department, you think they need less funds or more funds? Jeez.
Just one station there as a tourist from Chicago bonds out of jail. Police say she's behind an attack targeting 2 hotel employees.
And as 7 Sheldon Fox reports in this exclusive, this only adds to the recent hotel horror on South Beach.
Fresh out of jail and with questions for us, Marquise Burks is accused of attacking hotel employees.
And she strikes him with her fist.
She's charged with battery and other offenses after police say she argued with staff over being kicked out.
Are you free to go?
Yeah, what?
Oh, so these the same people involved in the last 2 videos I did on Chicago. Well, the last 2 videos I did on brawls at Miami Airport. So it's a lot of people from Chicago spending a lot of time in Miami. They've already taken over Atlanta. You see what they've done to Atlanta. But they're also starting to, find their way down to Miami. South Beach now. So the airport is a danger zone, and now hotels are danger zones. Wow. And I'm supposed to just report this like there's no pattern, there's no observations that I can make about this. Every story is just a brand new story, and it doesn't mean nothing, and race doesn't mean nothing unless the black person's being victimized. This is a woman. This is the female of the species.
With staff over being kicked out.
Are you free to go?
Yeah, what?
They say the Chicago woman would not go peacefully.
She was charged with 1 count of tampering for every time she hung up the phone when they were trying to call the police.
So she's being charged with 2 counts of tampering for hanging up the phone when the people that were trying to call the police. Which is what they should have done, and which is what you should do. That's what the police are there for. To come get wild savages like this girl and take her somewhere to chill and cool off for a bit. Who else can you go and call to come get this wild, crazy girl that's running around hitting men and hanging up the phone when they try to call police? I mean, these stories have everything in. I mean, like, I just I just don't know what to say, man. The people tried to call the police. She hung up the phone. Or they was trying to call police. She took the phone from, hung it up. The people kept trying to call police. They didn't go try to call somebody else.
She was charged with one count of tampering for every time she hung up the phone when they were trying to call the police.
They allege she attacked 2 workers inside the Palomar Hotel on Alton Road, coming behind the front desk and knocking down clear dividers put in place because of the pandemic.
And she told the officers that if they weren't officers, she would have hit them too.
It happened.
Black people, what do you need to know more? A wild, savage woman is acting crazy. The people she's assaulting call the police. The cops finally come. And she says, I would have hit y'all too if y'all weren't police. And y'all saying y'all don't need police. So this savage, and I'm only saying that because that's what they call themselves, Chiraq savages. That's how they refer to themselves. So if you're like a pro-black or, back to Africa sister that's all black people, blackity black, that's what they call themselves. They call themselves Chiraq savages. That's the term they use to describe themselves. In their music, on social media, they proudly describe themselves as Chiraq savages. But if you white, don't do that. It'll get lost in translations if you white. But I'm black, so I can, So this savage, she got enough sense to know that it's not a good thing to hit police, and she needed to pipe down. So the question begs is, if I would have said, say I called the NFAC, or Black Lives Matter, or the NAACP, and they showed up on the scene, or a social worker, or a mental health aide, is it safe to assume that she would have struck them? Because she just said out of her own mouth the only reason she didn't strike those guys is because they were the police.
It happened here Sunday morning, and it's far from the only time this year that hotel employees in Miami Beach had to deal with a rough customer. This caught-on-camera attack happened March 3rd at the Clinton Hotel. Cops say Voodoo Lounge owner Mandy Callara snapped and went after this front desk manager because he wasn't given a key to a woman's room.
I felt I'm gonna die.
And February 12th at the Riviera Beach Hotel, this vicious beatdown of a man on the job resulted in the arrest of a Philadelphia man.
I just want to say that I'm very apologetic.
As for Burks and this latest case, she said she was sorry in court and didn't appear jazzed.
This how they do it in Miami?
After her time in lockup.
I don't know what kind of night I just had.
Victim.
All right. So 2 things. You heard how she said, this how they do it in Miami? Because in Chicago, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Okay? Wouldn't have been that big of a deal. She ain't killed nobody. She just assaulted some hotel staff. The cops would have came and told her, broke it up and told her to go her way and not come back. And then the cops would have left. And it'd have been up to her to not come back. They got too much stuff to deal with. South Beach, a little different. This is a big deal. They don't have 700, 800, 900 murders a year in South Beach. I mean, they have more murders than they ever had before in shootings. But, I saw this guy, Mandy Callara, Latino. I saw what he did. But did you notice the very next one was a brother? So I was going to wait to see if there was a pattern. See, that's one thing about, like, yeah, other races do this stuff. And I always try to highlight it when the other races do it. But I wanted to wait till that little montage ended. I was hoping that there was no more black folk in there, but the next one was a brother. But both people that were being assaulted, the one that Mandy Kalara assaulted, the one that this brother assaulted, they both wish a cop was sitting right there. They both wish a cop was right there. Both of them. And neither one of them want a social worker or a mental health aide to show up. They want a cop to show up.